Rejoice now, heavenly hosts and choirs of angels. Rejoice now, heavenly hosts and choirs of angels. One of the glorious things about being a deacon is during the Easter Vigil is that you're able to chant and pray the Exultant. I am the Reverend Deacon Drew Klatte. I'm serving currently at St. Mark's in Plainfield, Indiana. Professionally, I work for the Indiana Family and Social Services Administration. I work for the Division of Mental Health. And I am currently the Assistant Deputy Director for Emergency Preparedness. My journey toward the diaconate began when I went to Sudan in 1998. I first went to the Sudan, and there I began to see God's wondrous works in the midst of despair and famine. I was able to see God there. I came back from the Sudan a changed person, and I began to do spiritual direction. I began to see where God was trying to lead me in my life, and I felt at that point that I was probably always a deacon, and I've just never been able to really call what it was I was already doing. As a deacon serving at St. Mark's, I'm responsible for all the outreach ministries at St. Mark's. We currently operate a food pantry. We have a lunch program where we serve lunch every week. We have a thrift shop, and we also have a homeless ministry that we provide food and clothing to the homeless folks in Indianapolis. So as a deacon, I'm the one that oversees that ministry. And it's the responsibility of the deacon to bring the concerns of the world into the church and then take the church's message out to the world. So we are in a unique position where we literally have a foot in the world and a foot in the church. I'm a deacon whether I'm at my job or whether I'm at the church or I'm at home. It's who I am. People have asked me, when are you going to be a priest? You know, why aren't you transitioning to be a priest? And I constantly tell people that I'm not called to be a priest, I'm called to be a deacon. And that's something I'm very comfortable with. Part of my job with the Family and Social Services Administration, as I mentioned, is that I provide psychological first aid teams that will go out and work with people following disasters. We saw about 9,000 people in the six weeks that we were deployed to Biloxi, Mississippi and Gulfport, Mississippi. So the team that we had down there was a magnificent, wonderful team of dedicated people who wanted to provide services to people following Katrina. And I really have a unique opportunity because my secular job really does kind of work in my ministry as well. Part of providing disaster mental health services to people following disasters is that a lot of people have some spiritual issues that they're having to deal with. And our teams and the teams that I put together, you know, we're not afraid to have to deal with folks' spiritual issues as well as their psychological issues. Following disasters, people really have a lot of questioning. Why this happened to me? You know, I'm a good person, why was my house destroyed? You know, they question their religious beliefs and their spiritual beliefs. And our teams are not afraid to deal with that. To me, one of the absolute wonderful things about being a deacon is being able to proclaim the gospel every Sunday. Part of what the role of the deacon and why the deacon is the one that proclaims the gospel is because we're the ones who's proclaiming the good news of Christ. We're the ones that do that in the world. That's part of our liturgical function. That's why in churches where they have deacons, the last voice that you hear at the dismissal is that of the deacon, because the deacon is the one that's telling the people, now that you've experienced the good news, you're to carry that good news out into the world. The story in the Bible that probably symbolizes my call to the diaconate really is the one on Maundy Thursday, where it's the foot washing. I have a picture of it here in my office, and I really try to understand that when I'm washing one of our parishioners' feet, that is a service ministry that we are doing. What I would suggest that people who are looking at becoming a deacon is that they talk to their clergy person about their calling. To me, the discernment process was almost a journey in and of itself. Where is God calling me to ministry? And God may not be calling you to be a deacon, but having other people who will help you to discern that is a valuable thing to have. There are many misconceptions about deacons. One of those being is that at one point in time we're going to be priests, or that we are on a journey to the priesthood, and most of us are not. Another one of the misconceptions that people have about deacons is that they think that we work for a particular church, when in actuality we work for the diocese. My obedience and my responsibilities to the bishop, I serve the wider diocese. I'm working right now in St. Mark's, but I also have other diocesan responsibilities, such as the Global Missions Committee and working in Sudan. So there are other, wider ministries that deacons have that are outside the congregation that they're serving. A deacon can change the life of your congregation by putting the emphasis on the service ministry of Christ. The role of the deacon is to have the congregation understand the service ministry of Christ and the humility of Christ. That's what we're called to do.